The stock market is in turmoil, there's a financial crisis. Company solvency isn't out, panic selling has started for some securities. The year is 1792 and 24 stockbrokers meet in Wall Street in New York under a buttonwood tree to sign an agreement that creates a new way of securities trading, which creates a closed market where everyone can trust each other to honor payments and where investments are legitimate. In Exchange, a stock trading game of strategy and wit by Eric Sillies, you're one of the group of 24, and you have to use your wit and cunning to take the beginnings of a new stock exchange to what will eventually become the New York Stock Exchange. Here is a really cutthroat game where you keep a close eye on your colleagues' stock holdings to outmaneuver them and make the most profit from the constantly changing market. I know that games with a lot of player interaction can be a bit off-putting, but even though trying to ruin the other player's plans is a core mechanism in Exchange, it doesn't feel too bad, because there are other players who may actually help you. The market forces as a whole balance things out, and if you're smart you can hugely benefit from other players' attempts to bring you down. Bluffing, double bluffing and making constant tactical decisions is what makes this game tick. Also, if you do feel really hard done by, the game only lasts half an hour or so it's over relatively quickly. Yet, everyone trying to beat up a single player can quickly backfire due to the way the stock market works. You see, Exchange uses a mechanism it calls market bubble. It is when the price of a stock either goes below $10 or above $90. Suddenly that stock's value flips around to the other extreme of the market. Stock going below $10 will then be worth $90, while a stock going above $90 will drop down to $10. If a group of players decide to try and force a stock to drop right down, they may inadvertently push it to the top. You aren't allowed to discuss what your plans are with other players, so everyone makes their choices in secret, and then everyone reveals at once. Forming an alliance with other players is virtually impossible, even when the game state seems to single out a player as a target for an attack. What makes Exchange so much fun is the need to predict what other players' plans are, while trying to hide yours. Even when it's clear that you and other players should take a certain action, such as push down the price of a specific stock, you both have to be careful to avoid the market bubble effect. There will be nervous moments when everyone reveals their actions, and you wonder if you hit the market bubble, just to find that the player you were trying to attack actually took advantage of your plans and pushed their stock value below the bottom price and back out the top, cashing in a huge profit in the process. So I would say take a closer look at Exchange, the stock trading game of strategy and wit, even if you don't normally like cutthroat games. Of course, if you like games with a lot of player interaction, then Exchange will be right for you. It's a lot of fun and a short enough game to be the perfect opening or finish for your games night. Thank you for listening to this Tabletop Games blog review. There's also a written version of it on my blog, links in the description of this podcast. There you'll also find links to my Ko-fi and Patreon pages if you want to support me financially. Other than that, please also like this podcast and subscribe to it. Leave some stars if you're an Apple Podcast. Everything would be really welcome. And review it if you can as well. Other than that, tell your friends about it, and generally I hope you join me again for another episode of Tabletop Games Blog Review. Thanks for listening, and bye! This podcast was made possible by my Patreon supporters: David Miller of Subquad Publishing, James Naylor of Naylor Games, Paul Grogan of Gaming Rules, Robin Kay of Ruined Sky Games, Sarah Reed of Undine Studios, Tim Vernick, and Richard Simpson of We're Not Wizards.